Hi there, my name is Bacon, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So those little scamps at Screenrant, oh boy, do I love them. They put out another article on Doctor Who. So why do I keep making these videos about Screenrant? What their nonsense they talk about Doctor Who? Because they keep writing them. That when they keep writing them, I'm gonna keep on taking the piss out of them because really, listen. Okay, this is an expression of one of my weaker traits, I think. Like oftentimes when people are do something crazy and stupid, I sometimes like to point at it and laugh. That's just me. It's not one of my best things, but it's just what I do. I'm sorry. Listen, if you like the current era of Doctor Who, as I always say, I'm really happy for you. If you're getting enjoyment out of it, if you get even 1/10 of the enjoyment out of it that I've got out of even the worst Doctor Who ever, right? If you get 1/10 that same enjoyment, I think you're very blessed. I think it's a great thing. It really is a great thing. I don't get that enjoyment out of it. No, I don't. I actually do get quite a lot of enjoyment taking the piss out of the articles like this. So that's what we're going to be doing. Before we get there, of course, as always, can I appeal to you? If you like what I'm doing here on YouTube on the channel, if you can hit the subscribe button, that'll be absolutely lovely. That'll be really genuinely nice. Thank you very much. And also, if you hate what I'm doing, here on YouTube, could you hit that subscribe button? I think we can get. I would like to see both groups come together, and there's a third group. I would like to join in this trinity of groups. Third group is you're a bit in the middle. You don't like. Well, either way, you're not that opposed. Yeah, if you hit the subscribe button there as well, that would be really nice. So yeah, basically, if you're a person, or if you don't identify as a person, if you identify as a dolphin, hit that subscribe button. You never know when there could be some trans dolphin material that I'm going to go over that you're going to be want to be subscribed for. Of course, if you do subscribe, you get many benefits. Firstly, you get the benefit of making me happy. So why is that a benefit? You know what? Me not being happy is a bad thing. You basically. Okay, here's what you're doing. You're giving my wife and my kids a much better life because I'm not stomping around bitching and moaning. So yeah, do it for them. Hit that subscribe button. But no, the main benefit is you can enter my competitions. The prize, which I'm giving away Saturday night. It says 27th in the video notes. I'm going to change it to 26th if I remember, which I probably won't. The prize is, of course, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, the stonking 4-disc DVD set. I'm actually quite looking forward to picking out the winner, so I can start plugging a new thing that I'm giving away. This one's been going for 2 weeks, so all you need to do to win it: subscribe to the channel, and in the comments leave the hashtag Helm's Deep. Also, I am a rabbinical person, and whether you believe in God, don't believe in God, whatever your theological outlook is whatsoever, if you want me to pray for you in the Holy Land of Israel, where it is, when you want to get through to God, it's a local call, which that joke doesn't really work anymore. Now we have WhatsApp and Skype, but never mind. There's a big day in Kabbalah for non-Jews to entreaty the good Lord, and if you would like me to do that for you, I am more than happy to step. Just let me know whatever it is you want, and you know what? Who cares? If you can give it a try, whatever you want. Just let me know. Of course, in complete confidence, I'm not going to broadcast your prayer request to the world. Yes, he wants a bigger dick. Okay, everybody. So things like that. Whatever you want, guys. I'll just let me know, and I am happy and excited to serve you, the audience. And actually, I really am. Which is a funny thing, but I actually am. I like that's what I like doing. Fine. So the current era of Doctor Who not going that well, which isn't really that much of a problem, really. I mean, we've lived through Doctor Who that has done badly before. I have anyway. I mean, the mid-80s, the hiatus. Which should have been a cancellation that John Nathan Turner stopped, and it basically had his life destroyed because of it. He had his life destroyed because of Doctor Who, but bless him, I think it was a pretty loyal person. When somebody was loyal to him, he would be loyal back. So yeah. But I still loved it. I always loved Doctor Who. I didn't care that nobody else loved it, but the fans of the current era, they get very upset. They get very, very upset. They obsessively upset that it's not popular, or there are people like me around who flicks spitballs at them from the back of the class and make fun of them for not being popular. They get really, really upset about it. And I think that's because those fans anyway, don't really don't really like the show, don't really care about the show. Much like Jodie Whittaker, they like what it means culturally. Like culturally, there's a woman Doctor Who, and for there to be a woman Doctor Who that's failed this badly, and there's just no other way of describing it, has failed this badly, is a bit of an embarrassment. So I don't think they really like this show for what it is, because it's not very good. It's not very good. So what's one of the big signs of failure? One of the big signs of failure was, of course, Time Lord Victorious, a initiative by BBC Studios, the commercial arm of the BBC, which did quite a bit better than the BBC Cardiff than past year. I think the BBC, the non-commercial arm, lost about $300 million in people refusing to pay their license fee because they put out relentless Drek. So they're relentless preachy Drek. So they lost that. Whereas BBC Studios made 1.4 billion. Right? It's not like BBC doesn't have properties that aren't popular. Like Doctor Who, for example, is just the way they're being administered is but they're being administered by people who don't really like Doctor Who, right? And they don't like you for liking it, and they really just expected there'll be this whole other audience that would turn up when they alienated us. Well, they didn't think they would alienate us. They just didn't really care. Anyway, so because of all this, the merchandising revenue has turned from a torrent to a trickle. It's turned from there's just a little bit of merchandise. I don't even think it's that much at all. I think it's really down. I think the licensees are like, well, why are we paying for this non-profitable comic or whatever? Actually, they're like, why? Well, for what? So this BBC Studios came up with this idea of Time Lord Victorious, which was Doctor Who that they knew would sell. And I don't think it was done through a love of Doctor Who. I think it was done by looking at a spreadsheet and go, this is popular, this is popular, this is popular. So, they saw David Tennant was popular. They saw Revelations from the Doctor's Past was popular. That fit in. Revelations from the Doctor's Past that don't blow up the entirety of Doctor Who. Those aren't so popular, right? Yeah, Chips, you want to pay attention. They're popular. Multi-Doctor stories are popular. The idea of having Christopher Eccleston back, that's popular. So they said, well, yeah, that's the spreadsheet, that's what we're doing. And they went ahead and did it. And so the one thing they knew they had to miss out, the one thing they had, under all circumstances, they had to miss out from Time Lord Victorious was Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker's face just causes things not to sell. Especially in Doctor Who. Listen, when somebody's boringly preached at you over and over and over again, and is portrayed like, somebody who's supposed to be a genius, somebody who's supposed to be a moral giant and a genius as a conformist, moronic loser, idiot. Once they do that, who likes it's one thing if she played the Doctor as like this bumbling, idiot, which she does. But she also plays it as a bumbling idiot that likes to talk down to you. No, darling, no, don't work that way. You can either be one or the other. When you're both, it's called being grating. You're like, nails on a chalkboard. So anyway, they wanted to keep away from Time Lord Victorious, which left people who don't want to admit, who live in this reality that Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who has completely failed. They don't want to accept that at all. In a bit of a quandary, I know. They have to find a way to explain everything. Explain the drop of 70% of the audience, which is going to continue. They keep up with this Doctor Who. It's going down more, it's going to go down more and more. They explain that by saying, oh no, audiences have dropped in general. audiences are dropped in general. It's just one of those things. Pish posh. It's like, oh my God, I spoke to somebody who was a comic book fan, and I said, well, you'd have noticed the comic book sales have flatlined and tanked completely. I said, well, that's just part of the industry. Ebbs and flows. Yeah, it just happens to be this part of the industry that ebbs and flows is exactly what we told you was going to happen. We've been screaming for the last few years. Is exactly what's going to happen. And guess we were right on that one. Yeah, dumb luck. Eh? And that's what they say, basically dumb luck. So TV audiences in general have fallen. And that's true. That's because BBC and I think the entertainment industry in general had their minds melted by elections from 2016 onwards. They've had their minds completely melted, and they're like kind of like that guy from the end of Indiana Jones. When he comes when the first one where God comes out of the Ark of the Covenant and melts all the people's faces. Like, ah! Their faces are melting. Like, ah! So they have to explain it. So yeah, they explain, as I said, that TV audiences in general have fallen because people are bored with being lectured to by the BBC. And just in general, they're bored of being lectured to by, their moral inferiors. Which, I think the entertainment industry, we can all collectively say, you are our moral inferiors, right? Most people don't really look at people's skin color, but you guys, that's all you look at because you're terrible people. You're terrible people, and you're racist, and you're everything that you scream about. Because, as I said, your minds have been melted by these elections because you're just crazy. Okay. So now they've got to work out a reason why Jodie Whittaker is not part of Time Lord Victorious, which is not the obvious reason. And bless them, Screenrant have come up with a winner. So let's see what they got to say. Why Doctor Who's TV show can't be part of Time Lord Victorious? It's because they want to make money from it, and nobody wants to pay for this nonsense. Nobody wants to pay for Jodie Whittaker because she's awful. It's not because she's a girl. Not because she's a girl. It's because she's awful. If she was a guy, she would still be awful, right? That is the problem. That's why she's not part of Time Lord Victorious, because the licensees want to make some money. If they thought her little face on things, connecting it to the current era, would make money, they would do that. But they found any connection pisses off your target audience. So they kind of winding back on that, really. And whenever they're not, it's some kind of they're making a point. They're making a point by not winding back with it. So let's have a look how they're going to spin this desperately. By Thomas Bacon. Thomas Bacon, wonderful show. Mwah. Thomas, I hope you got paid more than $5 for this article, because it's about to bring people a lot of happiness. Doctor Who's Time Lord Victorious is the boldest transmedia initiative in the show's history. And it's because they had to do it. They had no choice. They need that merchandise revenue. And maybe they should have got somebody in who will just tell them the truth. People walk on eggshells, right? People are like, somebody just come and say, listen, nobody wants this because it's garbage. Get rid of it. There was this thing when the Last Jedi came out, where people were trying to get them to remake that movie, which at the time, all the industry was like, that's just crazy. That's insane. The whole city people. And it turns out that would have been their best move, wouldn't it? That absolutely would have been their best move. They could have saved the entire franchise, had they just done that crazy thing. Maybe, this is just Time Lord Victorious strikes me as half measures, where whole measures are really, really needed. If you need to know what that means, go watch Breaking Bad. I think it's the end of season 3 that they talk about that. Anyway. But the BBC TV show cannot be involved in it. That's right, because it would be somewhat counterproductive. It would be self-defeating. Time Lord Victorious is the biggest transmedia event in the history of Doctor Who. And it's a desperate attempt to recoup some of their lost revenue. And here's why the TV show isn't a part of it. Because it's crap. Because we all hate it, you moron. That is the reason. Transmedia is becoming a bigger part of the modern entertainment than ever before. But it's hardly new to Doctor Who. The first time books were published in the early 1965, and by 1976, fans could tune into radio plays. No, they had one. Okay, radio plays. 1976. That was the Pescatons, wasn't it? In Pemberton. was that ever broadcast? I don't think it was a radio play. I don't think so. I think the first radio play was Slipback with Colin Baker. That would be what, 85, I think. But yeah, don't bother yourself with research there, mate. Okay, the first time, blah 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 blah. You can purchase LPs, yeah, and the other one was Genesis of the Daleks. Genesis of the Daleks was an awesome LP. I had that. There was no actual collaboration between the BBC and these different initiatives, but frankly, that's not a problem. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's always kind of fun seeing everybody go off in their own different direction. One of my favourite Star Wars comics, my absolute favourite Star Wars comics, is the initial run. Howard Chaykin, I think, did the artwork on it before it was, Howard Chaykin. I got to do some reviews on his work. I love Howard Chaykin. Actually, I got to get that second Shadow book. I love that first Shadow book. Anyway, I digress. One of my favorite runs was right after they adapted the first movie. It was that around for like 3 or 4 issues, and after that, until Empire Strikes Back came out, they had like 3 years of them just filling in with their own stuff. So you had a completely alternate universe where they're like, little bunny aliens. It was like crazy. It was so different, and I really enjoyed that, just that wild inventiveness. And I kind of enjoyed that in Doctor Who merchandising of the time, where a lot of times the Daleks were never really quite right. Why would those Daleks look a bit wrong? There was no actual collaboration in these different initiatives, but frankly, that's not a problem. Doctor Who has never been especially concerned with ideas like continuity and canonicity. That's not true. Doctor Who has always been very concerned about it. That only became something that nobody was concerned about this year. Like after season 12 was broadcast, when Doctor Who fans went, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. With continuity and canonicity, doesn't make any sense at all. No, that's not to say they weren't discontinuity errors in the bus. Sure, Mordrin undead, and you got to think your way around them. And you shouldn't be too shackled to continuity either. There's always ways to find, like Mordrin undead. I think is an excellent story, and I would think it's an excellent story no matter. It would have made more sense though if instead the Brigadier was teaching at school, it was Ian. It was supposed to be him. For some reason he couldn't do it, so they got Nicholas Courtney in instead. But yeah, listen, I look, my headcanon way of explaining it is something to do with like the faction paradox was big at the time, and so real, like I can see, and with the Time War, that realities get messed up, and these things happen. Things like that. So I can see some kind of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey thing happening. That is fine, but it's fine for me. Basically, because it's a good story, and I'm not happy to overlook the problem. But yeah, there's always been discontinuity. There's never been an intentional detonation of canon and continuity before, which is why I don't think it really went down that well. It's so funny. They thought it was going to go down so well. I would have loved to have seen Chris Chibnall's face right before I was like, I can't wait. This is going. They're going to love this. They're going to hate the misogynists. Will hate this. It's going to be so good. And then he saw the audience reaction. And I was like, yeah. Well, no, I would love to see that. When Doctor Who was cancelled in 1999, these transmedia projects became more important than ever before. Transmedia, there was a synergy between like the Doctor Who comic strip in Doctor Who magazine and like the Virgin novels. That was kind of fun. I liked that a lot, actually. Just because it was the same people working on it, and they had a feeling like, the Doctor Who had finished, and it was they were trying to create a new universe to move forward in. Honestly, I think it worked. I think that worked. But I wouldn't call it a transmedia. I just think it's the same people work on the same stuff. Just decided, let's do that. Became more important there, but keeping Doctor Who alive and drawing in a range of writers who were destined to pen episodes to relaunch the TV series. Okay. Yeah, but that whole transmedia thing kind of got blown out of the water when Big Finish arrived, because at that point they just started developing their own, vibe. And the whole Virgin New Adventures and BBC Eighth Doctor Adventure, that whole thing just fell kind of by the wayside. Because frankly, it's easier to listen to an audio than it is to read a book. Even though reading a book is a lot of times more rewarding, depending on the book, I guess. Honestly, if you can find yourself some of those new adventures, freaking awesome. They're absolutely awesome. I love that era. But now Doctor Who has launched its boldest transmedia initiative to date, Time War Victoious. As an act of pure desperation, a story that will take place Which, by the way, I bought the first 2 episodes of the story, but in the comic strip from Doctor Who magazine from Titan. The first 2 things that have been released, I still don't know what the story is. I mean, really, maybe they should kill us in on this story. A story that takes multiple incarnations of the Doctor back to the dark times when the universe was young. Yeah, but they're just not really coming out so well. It incorporates everything from Big Finish audio books to tie-in novels, from comics to escape rooms. The escape room things is such a dumb idea. To have a vital piece of the plot in the escape room is so dumb. It actually makes my head hurt. It feels like the biggest story ever told in the history of Doctor Who. Now, I would say that's Day of the Doctor. That was the biggest story ever told. And yeah, that whole that last scene where all the TARDISes are flying and saving Gallifrey, and you have all the Doctors. Was it Doctor to the War Castle? Yeah. William Hartnell's Doctor. Oh, that's freaking awesome. I love that. I absolutely love that. That for me is always one of my favourite Doctor Who moments of all time. Yeah, this not so much because this isn't. Everybody knows it's going to be forgettable, and it's not, and we don't know what it is, and it's not been that good so far. That's really the bottom line. If they had made the central story, right? They could have done a book on tape. They could have had Jake Dubman narrate it. They could have done it pretty cheaply as well, and then put that on like Radio 1 or Radio 4, whatever they put it out for free, right? And then have that as part of the novelization. Then you would have been able to sell stuff. But I don't know. I feel a bit gypped. And if they try this again, I am not rushing in. Not until I see them. The creative teams working involved. The Big Finish ones look awful, right? And I really regret putting my money down on them. It feels like the biggest story ever told in the history of Doctor Who, but there's one striking absence. The TV series itself is no part of Time Lord Victorious. Yes, because the Time Lord Victorious, as we said, exists because the TV series itself is awful. It is, instead of bringing viewers in, it repels viewers. It absolutely repels everyone. This is because the BBC, who produced Doctor Who TV series, now we're getting to their crazy theory. This is because the BBC, who produced Doctor Who series, are a public service broadcast. Public service broadcaster that kind of like exists on the need for merchandise revenue, which is kind of lost a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I think so. As such, they operate under a significant constraints when it comes to transmedia. As former showrunner Rusty Davis explained in 2005 in Doctor Who magazine. Wow, they are clutching at straws. Doctor Who's produced. Is this still the same? Is this really still the same policy? I don't know. This was before they started making a mint on Doctor Who, especially the Tennant and Matt Smith is. Doctor Who is produced by a public service broadcaster, and it is paid for by you, the license payer. As a consequence of this status, the BBC is very careful with its merchandising. We are happy for you to enjoy the Doctor Who spin-off and read the novels, but we must never make the purchase necessary. If you find so, again, what they could have done is they should have treated this like a short story anthology with a theme. You have the central Time Lord Victorious story happen at the beginning, right? Whatever, or the first half at the beginning. Then you have all the little short stories that happen because of this, that happen in that world. You could have put a Jodie one in there, and it wouldn't be necessary at all to buy it. But yeah, what's that smell? Can you smell something? It smells like, is that dog? Is that cat? Oh no, it's bullshit. That's what we're smelling. We're smelling bullshit. We are happy to enjoy the but we must never make the person necessary. If you had to buy a BBC novel in order to understand the plot as transmitted on BBC, we would be breaking the BBC's guidelines. Yeah, there's BBC guidelines that we're really interested in. Now the BBC guidelines are we must make everything boring and preachy. Yeah, let's ignore those guidelines. And there's nothing sort of BBC TV series tying into things that are free, explaining why they are able to release short stories. So they have that Dalek series. Tie into that. Can you tie into that? You want to do it? No, you're not so interested. Okay, fine. Or they could put you could put a free chapter of Time Lord Victorious, starring Jodie Whittaker. Why not have her narrate it? Yeah, why not just put a face front and center? Put a face on the poster. How about that? Why don't you do that? You know why you're not doing that, and I know why you're not doing that. We all know why you're not doing that. for explaining why things are able to be release short stories and animations online via free and mobile app. So you're saying there can't be any. This is why there can't be any Jodie Whittaker merchandise. Is that why? Is that why there's no books, right? But to understand Time Lord Victorious in all its glory, you have to spend a bit of money buying everything from novels and audiobooks. No, they very, very specifically tell you that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Each thing has to be its own, its own entity and give you a decent story in of itself without a need to go to anything else. If your interest is piqued and you want to see more things, then you can go and see more things. But no, you don't have to buy everything. Okay, so you were just full of crap at this point. As such, this is the kind of story that Doctor Who TV show sadly can't get involved with. As Neil Perryman of the University of Sunderland explained in an article, Doctor Who and the Convergence of Media, right? Okay, Neil Perryman, that sounds familiar. Satellite formats can complement the parent program, but they can never be integrated into the overall overarching narrative. To explain, well, again, you could tie this into the Timeless Children, and so you could do something. You could do Dr. Ruth at the Dawn of Time. You could do a lot of things, couldn't you? That self-contained. Funnily enough, you're not that interested. Could it be because you're going to lose a lot of money if you're going to do that? Honestly, people won't buy things even with the current logo on. That's why the Time Lord Victorious logo is much more prominent than the current Doctor Who logo. Here's the way to see what's the thing they're highlighting most on any poster. When you squint and look at it, the one thing that comes out of you, that's the focal point. The one thing that comes out at you is the Time Lord Victorious logo. No one's really interested in looking at the Jodie Whittaker logo, and that's why they make it kind of blend into the background. Can never be integrated into the overarching narrative as to such an extent that impacts directly upon it. In short, these platforms must stand alone. Yeah, okay. So as I said, you could do a standalone story, Dr. Ruth at the Dawn of Time. For some, we don't know how the Doctor's able to enter this early place of time, which has always been locked off. That you find out in the escape room, really. Which for me, as a Doctor Who fan, that's an important part of the puzzle, right? I need to know that to understand this story. And so sadly, not for BBC Studios, not for the consumers. Time Lord Victorious, the most exciting Doctor Who event this year. Most exciting Doctor Who event since Capaldi regenerated, to be honest with you. Can never have a direct impact on the TV show, but it doesn't really need a direct impact, does it? No. Current showrunner Chris Chibnall can support what is being done by licensed companies like Big Finish, but he is restricted when it comes to weaving their stories into it. Again, you don't have to weave it in. You can have a sister narrative. The restriction is there simply because of the BBC Charter, which they're about to lose. They got another 6 years, and then they are gone. And it's very difficult for Doctor Who to navigate around it. Yeah, well, we have found something that the current production team are reticent to do. And what is that thing they don't want to do? Anything very difficult. They don't want to do anything very difficult because I think they are lazy and talentless hacks. Lazy and talentless hacks. That's how I would describe them. My name is Sheila Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.